Hi everyone. So today's video is making a mini album like I showed you in the last video, and I'm gonna go over all of the fun stuff that I use. It's really simple, really easy, and I just wanted to let you guys know what it is before it starts, because it starts right into the thick of things. So if you like this, please like and subscribe. And yeah, let's get going. Okay, so what I use is these little envelopes. And I use actually these envelopes as pockets in my bigger journal. But I thought they would make good little journals. So this pad of paper is from Hobby Lobby. This set, the other set is one I designed. And I decided to use this top one as my cover. And so what I do to start with is I just glue it all down. And that's my first step, is I glue the paper onto what my journal cover is going to be. And I do that for, that way the journal, it'll dry, the paper will dry on it, and I won't have any issues when it's time to fold it. And then I just cut off all the excess. So I will set that aside to dry. And I actually realized that decorations are on the back, not the front. So we're going to do a decoration on the cover. So now what I'm going to do is actually go through these papers, and I have two sets of papers in here, and these are the ones I designed, and I realized each set of paper makes a few journals. So but you wind up cutting those in half, and those are going to be our smaller pages in our journal. And I cut these at a 5.5, which makes them even. And set those aside. And then I take making sure I cutted them right. And then what I do is cut these down. Now this is going to be my, I'm deciding which I want for pockets and which I don't. And I need my size of what my envelope that I am using for the cover is, so I know what to cut these at. And so I cut these down at 6 because they can all be cut straight in half at 6. except for the one we just set aside, because that's going to actually be our pockets. And I want to make sure I had how many I have to know if I need to add more to it or not. But it wound up being okay. And so I cut these down at 6, and then I cut them down, I believe, to a little less than like 9.5. That gives me those sheets. And I don't throw any of the excess that I away, because I actually use them in the journal. For these papers I'm cutting right now, I will use that little excess as belly bands, or put them in as clusters. Do both. And so this one is going to be our pocket, and so I'm going to fold it up in half, and then I cut it, and then I glue it. Glue the ends. So I hope everyone is doing good. It is very cold out here. Like, way too cold. We're going back up in the levels.
Are you done?
We weren't in the teens today, which is good. I think yesterday the high was like 1, and today it's not. My son's school got canceled, but his what was it? His college class did not. So here I am picking out 6x6 paper pads to put in there. And I had a few different paper pads. I wasn't sure which one I wanted. But this one had some sewing in it, which would work really good with this sewing theme journal. But it's still hard to decide. And then I go through another page and another one that has similar. I find ones with the color similar that I like. And I actually wind up using the 2 from this one. So I only use 2. And I actually score these papers at 1 inch. Probably totally do 1.5 inches. And then I add them in. So I added a little bit of washi tape on these edges where the fold is going to be, just to give it a little bit more support. And then I use my circle punch to punch holes, and that is actually where, you know, 2 pockets. So, and then it's just a matter of figuring out where I want what, you know. And see, I was going to put the shorter one, but that wouldn't work, because when you glue it down, it just would not work. So you have to play around with the pages, so because it'll wind up being a little pocket on the outside of those 6x6. So you have to make sure you put them buddied up to one of the pages that are from 12x12 paper. I realized I did not score these 6x6 paper pads properly, so I wind up having to cut them off. The way I did those 6x6 papers is, one is, you know, you have 2 halves of a signature. One is on one half and the other is on the other half. So each side of the signature has a full 6x6 one, and then on the other it has this little pocket, which you will wind up seeing later. I glue it in. And now we're just going to sew our signature in. And before I sew it in, I just make sure all the pages are where you want them, because that's, you know, that's kind of important. So you see I'm adjusting pages, and you know, some of my short pages, they are not buddied up to up. Some of them are layered, like they have a little bit closer to the top versus one's a little bit closer to the bottom. It doesn't have to be perfectly in center. It's one of the things I love about doing these journals is that you can just really pick and choose how you design it. Anything goes, really. So, of course, this is how I like to do signatures. I do the 3-hole punch, and so you see my hands like really hurting. So I pull the thread through the center all the way through, and then I go to the bottom, and then I pull it all the way up. And then I go to the top hole and push it through the top. And then I push it back through the middle. That's just the way I like to do it. I'm sure there's tons of different ways. Mine's not the right or wrong way. It's just the way I do it. And now I just make sure I give it a good tot and, make sure it's tight and tie it a knot and go. I don't, I leave these strings a little long because I don't know if I'm going to be doing a charms on there. But there we go. I hope you will continue following me in this series. I'm love doing these. They're little, they're short, they're fun. They're not overly decorated, but I think they'll work really good for the where I'm going to try and sell them at. So again, if you like this, please think of subscribing and give it a thumbs up. And if you have an idea on what themes I should do these in, I would love to hear. Thank you for joining me. You guys are fabulous and you matter. I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.